Hey, good afternoon, Justice Warriors. It's Tuesday. It's May 23rd. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm going to suggest or request that you hit your like button and share, subscribe, ring your notification bell if you feel like it. I don't like to tell people what to do. So do whatever makes you happy. Um, I am coming on here today to just say a few quick things in the Idaho 4 case. Now, obviously, yesterday, the criminal defendant sort of kind of pled not guilty. I mean, he just was silent. He invoked his right to not say anything at all. And I guess in Idaho, or maybe in all states, that's interpreted as not guilty. And I'm sure there's a lot more to it. I'm sure that it's a really good way to lay the foundation for any future appeals. I would imagine. I would imagine that there's a lot of thought that went into that with him and his attorney. I want to say a couple of things. I don't want to say a lot because I just feel like we need to wait and let this case play out in the court of law. I want to give great accolades to Judge John Judge. He is the one who admonished the press, admonished, I think, like Dateline and Ashley Banfield, and probably all of us that have said too much, right? Judge Judge, I think, is doing our Constitution a great service in those admonishments. So I'm really happy that he did that. I was so pleased. Um, as far as can he order any of these outfits to make retractions, to make apologies? I don't know. Judges have a lot of power, so that might be a possibility. It seems to me like it would be a good idea, but you always have to be careful. You set precedents and things can backfire and get topsy-turvy. So we'll see. Um, what I really wanted to say, real simple, is that as much as I believe the conviction of innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, I want to admit that personally, when I look at Koberger's face, he looks like the Joker. He looks like a scary clown. And some of that, I'm sure, is the camera, and some of that may be just his inherent genetics. I don't know. I haven't seen him in person. Probably never will. Um, but at the same time that he looks the part, he looks like somebody who could have done this, that doesn't mean that he did it. It doesn't mean that he is that type of person, and it certainly doesn't mean that he did it in this particular case. So I just think we all need to be so careful of that. It's so easy to judge a book by its cover. You know, 51 terabytes, 20,000 pieces of evidence, almost 10,000 tips. It's, like I said yesterday, an embarrassment of riches, of too much information. TMI. TMI. Like in the O.J. Simpson case, they had mountains of evidence. They didn't think there was any way possible they could lose that case. So, just saying. You never know how things are going to turn out in court. Hold on a second here. You really never know. Oh, I didn't do my disclaimer yesterday, which was fine, but I'm going to do it today. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion. I like to learn. I hope that I'm educational for others. And all my videos are made specifically for YouTube, and that's an entertainment platform. So Here we go. I've often wondered if Koberger is being railroaded. Now, going back to when he interviewed for the assistantship position at the Pullman PD, could he have been offered that position? Could he have accepted that position? I believe that he could have both been offered and accepted, and they're not going to release that information because that looks really bad, right? Really bad. And of course, we know that he was a student teacher and an assistant professor. So some people have said, oh, well, he couldn't possibly do both. He could actually possibly do both. And having one simply cannot rule out the other. Um, and I don't know. I don't know that he was hired. But even if he wasn't hired, if he was meeting all of the people in the police departments in these areas, I wonder if there wasn't a sense of competition and maybe jealousy because he was working on his doctorate degree, maybe from somebody in one of the police departments that also held a master's degree that is only a few years older than him, who won some award his first or second year with the department for like being the best rookie ever. Um, what if Koberger was in one of these departments with his assistantship and was getting a lot of positive attention? What if somebody was jealous? What if there was a big situation going on, ongoing, with what ended up resulting in the fatalities from November 13th, 2022? What if it was a big plan, a coordinated effort, and Koberger was part of that with the police department, thinking that he had police immunity? Because police do have immunity. And sometimes they have to play dirty and do things that don't look good. But what if it just went sideways? What if? What if it's all getting pinned on him and he can't argue that he had no involvement because he did have involvement? You know, the way the hearing went yesterday, that was my first thought. And then, of course, there's the flip side of that, that's just crazy. That could never happen. And he's just crazy like that. He's just another Charles Manson, BTK type. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just think it's important to keep an open mind. So that's really all I wanted to say. I also wanted to mention something about, I said the other day, I said that roommates were a theme with the Kopaka situation and the Idaho 4 situation, kind of confusing things and muddying the water with roommates. What about neighbors? Can you confuse and muddy the water with neighbors? It seems like it. It seems like a lot of people have gotten kind of thrown into the mix, and there's a lot of chaos and confusion. I don't think anything is so simple that we just have one crazy person operating in a vacuum. I think that there's a lot more to it. So you don't hear about these types of cases, even though they happen. So we've got Dean Gillispie. I keep mentioning him. I'd never heard of his case, and I live in Ohio. And it happened in November. I did not hear about it until a couple months after that. So he was set up by law enforcement. We've got the situation of Story, um, Who Killed Garrett Phillips, another documentary, I think it's on HBO, that shows somebody getting potentially set up by law enforcement. There's the story of Kendrick Johnson, an unsolved fatality that has been pinned on no one, sort of like Kiely Rodni. Kiely Rodni's been pinned on no one. Doesn't it seem like somebody should be getting tried for the Kiely Rodni fatality? It's just so disheartening when young people pass away, and of course, it's the people around them that are going to look suspicious, and they've got to be thoroughly examined and ruled out, and leaving no stone unturned. So, Garrett Phillips is a situation much like Dean Gillispie, in my opinion, where law enforcement tried to pin the crime on somebody that they selected. So I just think that that's a possibility with this situation here. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but when you think about the business in that town being the university and trying to wrap this case up with a bow, put it on the shelf, let it all go away. We haven't really asked ourselves why law enforcement never put out a reward for any information leading to the arrest of a suspect. There could be a lot of reasons for that. One of them could be that law enforcement wasn't going to offer a reward for somebody to go rat them out. That's a thought, that's an idea, that's an opinion. Maybe not a very popular one, but I think something to consider as we are trying to make sense of all this. So I am going to be switching gears. I am going to be looking back into the Kiely Rodni case. I want to put a link in the description here to a short that Squirrels on Fire did yesterday that was phenomenal. I'm going to wrap it up. My phone is ringing, sorry. And I'll just turn that off. Gonna wrap it up. So again, hit that like button if you'd be so kind. Share, subscribe, and I think that's all today. Um, it cracks me up when Harsh Reality says this is the last video he's going to do on such and such topic. He did that a lot with Kiely Rodni, and each time I was like, oh no, keep going with Kiely Rodni, and then he would. And he's done that a few times with this case, and it's to me just super cute and funny that he is constantly doing that. So I'm not going to try to be like him. I'm not going to say this is the last video I'm making on this case because I am 100% sure that it's not. And I just really want to shift gears and refocus on Kiely Rodni. I can't believe that case is still at a standstill. I really can't. So you guys have a great afternoon. Take care of yourself. Make sure you drink your water, eat your protein, your produce, get your exercise, be productive, be kind, be forgiving, and just take really good care of yourself and take care of the people around you. Peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.